So this is Emma from Air 107.2, and we've come down to the drill hall on Portland, and we're surrounded by amazing creative talent here, as you might hear the tap-tap of the stonemasons creating some wonderful sculptures here. But we're actually joined by a very, very important man who is going to tell us a little bit more. If you listened before, we came down and spoke about this project called Look to the Rock, which is funded by Historic England, and it's Quarryman stories, and we're actually joined by a retired quarryman, Ralph, and he's going to talk about a really important part of the whole kind of full circle of the project, and especially this arch, which I'll let him tell you about how this arch has ended up back on Portland. The story is fascinating. So Ralph, yeah, if you could just tell the listeners, where has this arch come from?
This arch came from London. It was a building in Fleet Street that they demolished for improvements, like restructures going in there. And Hannah, which is the lady what's involved with, in charge of all this, she arranged for the arch, the actual arch of the building, the doorway, to be brought back to Portland and re-erected in Tight Quarry. They brought the arch back. I unloaded it, and we stacked it all away. It's all numbered. We've been all through it. So the people what took it down, they numbered it. So we renumbered it, so there'll be no mistakes. So really, it's ready for erection back in place. But it's easy to talk about it. It's very, very difficult to do. Very difficult to do. And obviously, some specialists will have to come and erect it. So we'll wait and see what happens here.
Yeah. So can you talk us through the process of how you actually go about doing something like that?
Erecting the arch?
Yes.
I know how to sling stone, of course I do. I'm a quarryman, and whatever. But putting that back together, it is above my pay grade, to be quite honest with you. I put the memory stones on Portland. I put them up. That's more in my sort of line. Lumps of rock, all shapes and sizes. I can pick. That's it. That's what I've always done. Handling stuff like that. But to re-erect an arch, an architectural, creation, is a bit above me. I will be here, and if they want a hand, yeah, of course I'll help. And I was talking about the arch as well. When that was originally made, and what's in the masons formed it all, it was done on the island, and then re-erected in the building up there. And in them days, so much was like what we call hydraulic, not machines. We're talking about when it was made over 100 years ago. It's you imagine 100 years back if you can, and without the machinery we've got today, but it's a work of art, like I say. There's a little bit of granite in it as well. Where that came from, God only knows. Dartmoor, I don't know. But majority of the stone is Portland stone. All the carvings are are Portland stone. So but at the moment now, they're arranging for funding, and they've talked an awful lot about it. But it will go ahead. But you just can't sort of go snap your fingers and it happens.
Yeah, and you talk about that link with London, and obviously one of the most famous landmarks that people might know about, which is St Paul's, made of Portland stone. It's it's another sort of passion of yours to actually get some acknowledgement about the stonemasons and the people that actually put that up in London.
Well, yeah, It wasn't Portland people what put this. The St Paul's Cathedral was built by masons in London. We supplied the stone from the island, and it was taken on barges from points all around around the island. And the barges, the stones were selected according to the job required of them. So they didn't want a great big stone and knock it about to do a little bit of work. So the selector was a very important man on the island, and then that stone had to be put in, whatever it was for a number, and put in a barge, and they had to be packed in the barges because they didn't want them rolling around in the sea, sort of thing, But Yeah.
It's like fascinating history, you know, the links that we have to London and the stone, and for yourself as well, you know, with the arch. It's you know, it's really nice for future generations to kind of have that link, you know, through this archway eventually when it does get put up.
Yeah, so of course it is. I mean, it's part of Portland, and yeah, it's a tribute to the men what made it all them years ago. Of course, nobody knows anything about that now. It's all way in the past. But yes, and the thing about it is, it's going to be an attraction on the island as well. And thanks to Hannah and Paul, you know, but they've worked tirelessly to do this, get this thing off the ground. And yeah, it will go ahead, but as you can imagine, there's a lot of funding to be found, and you know, this sort of thing. Yeah.
And you know, for yourself personally, is it true that you were part of a family of generations that worked the quarries here?
Indeed. Well, yes, of course. I mean, that was the main trade of the island years and years ago. All I can tell you is my grandfather was a quarryman. Father worked in the quarries till the war. And of course, different things happened then. But then my brother worked in the quarry, one of my brothers. So it was family tradition, if you like. And I must say that I had a pretty good time growing up and working in the quarries and whatever it was. Yeah, and yeah.
And it's really nice, isn't it, that visitors that come to the island get introduced to kind of the work that maybe you did through things like Tout Quarry and the sculptures. It's quite a nice way to try and, you know, generate that interest in a different kind of way, you know, from a creative point of view, but it's all linked together.
Yes, of course it's linked together. And they've had, in like the Tout Quarry now, the arch is going to be another attraction. There's people from Belgium, wherever they're from, and they've been up there to do some carvings and this, that and the other. And there's no fences around Tout. You can wander around and find and discover bits and pieces, and there's even old workings there where you can, and someone like me, you know, take you there and say this, you know, this, that, or the other, and explain the workings. Then it all sort of makes a bit more sense.
Yeah, and I think, you know, you actually give talks and explain the process of, you know, how it actually all go, you know, how you go about you sort of getting the stone, and you know, it must be really nice for you to pass on your passion like to other people.
Yes, I've given a few talks. Yes, yeah. I have. Yeah, and it's called Stone by Stone: The Way We Did It. That's it. Yeah, so I started working in '59 in the quarries as an apprentice, and then I retired 16 years ago.
Yeah, and you know, it's. I mean, we're so lucky here on Portland. It's such a beautiful place. It's such a creative place, but also that kind of heritage and that history of the quarries is very visible for everybody that visits here.
Yeah, well, it's not much. It's not much to look at now. For the simple reason is the method of quarrying has changed so much dramatically. The open cast quarries, there's a few left obviously, you know, but it's only like an entrance to a mine, and all the stone now is being won from underground, and it's all different, totally different, you know, methods of extracting it and there. It seems to be going all right, but you know, it's in my day, it was like taking apart a giant jigsaw puzzle, getting a stone. But now with machines and that there, it doesn't really make any odds about the joints anymore. They don't seem to, you know, and they just sort of bust it out of the ground, and that's it. But there's no blasting underground now. We used to do a lot of blasting as well, but you know, times have changed.
Yeah, and is it important to you for, you know, the future generations to hear the stories of the past and link it all together?
Yes, I think so. I think it's the way we used to do things, right? And I suppose lots and lots of trades are the same, you know. But it's all become mechanised beyond belief, really. And do you know, when we first started mining, I was there when the first mine started. And it was we had the Italians come over, and we all thought the blokes what were working in the quarry, and they said, "Well, we're going to mine it." What? You can't mine it? Look at all that, you know. They were right, we were wrong. You know, it's and now it's taken off, and well, there's a couple of firms on it now what mine, and it's not an inexhaustible Yeah. So the thing about it is, in time, it will come to an end. It will come to an end. But there.
And I suppose what everybody does here at the drill hall, using the stone as a creative kind of outlet, it does keep it alive in a sense.
Of course it does. Yeah. I mean, I'm all for what Hannah does, and I think probably she doesn't get the credit she deserves for like what she does for the island. And it's very important to me and a few people that that like to keep it going. The thing about it is, she's not going to last forever, no more than I am. We want somebody else to come and take it along and move it on. But you see, these people come from away, never had a hammer and chisel in their hands before, and they'll turn out all sorts of stuff. I'm not going to say they're all real good at it, but they're not. But now and again, you find someone that really takes to it, right? And it's like a duck to water, and you'd be surprised what they can turn out with a little bit of instruction.
And it's important for people to know as well that anybody's welcome here. Like, anybody can come along and start using, the chisel, and they can have a go.
Of course they can. Yes, yeah. They're only too pleased for people coming, and not only that, they have a chat with people, and that may inspire people to come and see whatever, it's one of the children come up here as well, and everyone's welcome.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's when the arch eventually is put in its place, how will that make you feel to see that?
I hope I'm around. But of course I should be delighted to see it. I mean, I've done nothing to it. I've just unloaded it and all that sort of thing. But it's, I suppose, if you like, done bits and pieces, but not sort of worthy of saying I've erected it or anything like that. No. But, so I will feel pleased that it is an attraction, a free attraction for people to wander around and have a look around. And the stones we put up the top there. All of a sudden you go up there, there's almost always someone walking around it. There's not a lot to see. It's just thinking, what's all this about? They have a walk around. Yes, it's good. Yeah, of course it is.
And it's important to celebrate the history of Portland, and doing that through the stone. It'll be a wonderful celebration, no doubt, when that arch does go up.
Oh, of course it will. Yes, it will. Yeah, and Hannah supply the wine, I expect.
But no, it's such a privilege to meet you and talk to you and hear a little bit about your history, and it's so important to keep those stories being told. So I can't wait to come along and see you when that arch is finally put in its place. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No.